Hi lovelies, I've come on to talk to you about attracting clients online and keeping your business going in these really weird times. We all know we're going through a tough time at the moment, all of us are. I'm still working online, but I noticed when I saw some comments off of some of the questions that I've put will be a little bit further down my profile, there's a lot of resistance to working online, and I just wanted really to sort of clarify the ways in which you can go and sort of, maybe get over that resistance. Because my first piece of advice to you, if you want to be busy, is that you can be busy, but you have to have self-belief. So my number one piece of advice is that in order to attract clients, you first have to transform yourself. So many therapists expect clients just to be able to come along, and that they will just find, business. But most, if not all, of the therapists that I speak to who are struggling for business are the ones who also happen to be suffering from some form of imposter syndrome. Now, it's not a bad thing to have a conscience, and it's a great thing that you care about helping clients. But if you're sat there thinking, I'm not sure I'm good enough to help people, then maybe that's why they're not coming. And you really need to start to sort of have a look at your own self and your own self-belief. The therapists that do best, whether that's working online, whether it's working with clients face-to-face when we're allowed to again, are the ones who go into the consulting room knowing that they can help the client. So if you have a lack of self-belief, then that's certainly going to transfer into uncertainty in the client. So deal with it. Make sure you do your own therapy surrounding that, or talk to a supervisor about it. And make sure that you talk to a supervisor who's been there and done it before you and is successful in their own right. Because obviously they're doing something right. And my betting is they're no better therapist, actually, than you potentially are, but they just have a better sense of who they are and their ability to help people. I step into every session knowing that it's relatively easy to help clients to solve their problems if you go in with a belief set that you're going to help them. And I don't try to do one size fits all therapy. I make the client do their own therapy. So I get them to feedback to me exactly how they wish to behave. And the first steps in that are not me making the changes for them at all. I can signpost them, I can give them techniques that potentially will help be the engine that drives those changes. But I don't do the work for them. I'm merely like the facilitator that does it, that sort of gives them the tools that they can use then to help themselves. And I know I say this a lot, and you've probably heard me say it before, but really it's not about us. It's not about what we do to the client. It's about what the client allows to happen. So once you have that belief set and you know that you can easily help clients, as long as you ask the right questions, then you can go into sessions feeling better about that. And that all of those people who are online and they're some form of, successful online, therapist gurus, there's no difference between them and you. The only difference between the two of you is that they've got their belief system really well set. This past week I've been working with a number of other therapists online. I've been running some training with Georgina McKinnon, and we do, obviously, you already know this, but we do classroom training together and then we do online training together. But it's about putting the effort in, and sometimes it is hard to think about how to generate business, but I've done that course online, I'm seeing clients, and the reason that I am doing it is because my belief system is that I want to help the people and that I can help the people, and so the people come. So, really just bear that in mind in everything that you do. And I'm not saying, when I say, it's actually quite easy to help clients, I'm not saying you don't have to do a good job. But what I am saying is stop trying too hard. If you have to try hard to help the clients, then you're actually doing it wrong. And I know that's a really big statement to make, but I think it's true. Therapists who think it's them doing something to the client, or it's their responsibility to sort the client's problems out, aren't really listening to what the client wants. So, have a think about that, and, think about how you can help yourself to identify areas that need improving in your own self-esteem and your own confidence. And the second thing really that you can do to attract clients is marketing, because whilst that's boring and time consuming, and believe me, I am bored to distraction sometimes, you have to make it work for you. Otherwise you're just a tiny fish swimming against a huge tide. And who's going to notice you if you just float around not really being noticed at all? Take the therapy gurus who, they spend thousands and thousands and they plough loads of money in to online marketing. You see them coming up all the time. Now, whilst I'm not saying that you have to spend a fortune on online marketing, you do actually have to invest time and energy and effort. And I spend probably, I would say now, I spend an average hour and a half a day. And that's sourcing material, sourcing useful information, putting up funny little memes, asking questions, and going onto my business page and scheduling posts. And, you need to be posting on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, every single day. Instagram, did I say Instagram? I don't know. But anyway, yes, it's hard at times to think what to write. I spend hours trawling through psychology websites and hypnotherapy websites and sourcing material to put online, but I do it. And the thing is, you need to be positioning yourself as the answer to that client's problem. So identify the things that people most come to you for, or ideas that you'd like to work with most, and then target those specific things directly in your marketing. If you're too general, you won't catch somebody's imagination. And I've seen some adverts recently. I'll give you some examples if I can remember. Come and see me at my London office to talk about hypnotherapy solutions that might be right for you. That was one I saw a little while ago prior to lockdown. That says nothing at all. Another one I saw, are you feeling anxious? I can help with that. You can help them to feel anxious or what? Enjoy these pictures of me walking down the lane today, followed by some absolutely exquisite photographs of nature. But why? What's that actually telling your client, apart from you live near some really nice fields and some lovely scenery? So make sure that when you do any social media posting, you do it with that call to arms, what we call a call to arms. And that means that you're saying to the client, come and have one session to quit smoking. That's a call to arms. Change your life for the better using hypnotherapy. It's a statement, but actually it's tapping into their subconscious drivers. Learn to think more positively using some amazingly powerful techniques. Reduce your stress levels and feel more confident using hypnotherapy. Direct instructions, and they're auto suggestions. Of course they are, because somebody will remember that rather than a load of spiel about nothing in particular. So always make sure, this is very, very important, that you always put a link to your contact details. So many people fail to do this. Honestly, if I went on now and looked at Instagram, Facebook and all of that, there would be hundreds of posts without any contact details. And what happens is clients might see something that they think, oh yeah, I like that, but they can't be bothered to trawl through the rest of your photos or do a search on Google to find you. They really can't. At the point at which they've thought, oh, that looks good, but then they can't find a link, they've scrolled straight past, down to something else, and you're back off of that radar again. So whatever you do, don't be a donut. Put clickable links on everything you do. And, you know, these are simple things, but they have to be consistent things. So you need to be able to see what someone else is doing successfully and replicate it for yourself, not copy, because copying things from other people actually is bad practice, but also it can shoot you down Google listings and all of that if you plagiarise other people's stuff. However, if you put these strategies into place, you have to be consistent with it as well. And like I said right at the beginning, I know it's boring. I hate having to do social media posting all the time, but I make sure I do because it's important to me. And you know, then when clients do find me, they come and they get better and they tell people about me. And I know that it's not really me who's making those changes, it's the client. But it doesn't matter in the client's eyes whether they think it's you who's done the, you know, you who's made them do the changes. I always try and get the client to see that actually it's their changes that they're making, because that really empowers them. But they go off and they recommend you. And the real sort of advice there is, don't try to fit every client into the same techniques. Just really listen to what they want to happen and how they want to behave. Ask them. They're honestly far more qualified than you are in that regard to sort their own problem out. My phone rang right in the middle of doing a video, and this is like the bane of my life at the moment. So I have people in the gardens next door all making a huge amount of noise. The other day I started to do this video, and I've got a little clip of it actually, which I might sling on the end of this video. And as I started to do the video, day before yesterday, somebody decided that they were going to get their pressure washer and start pressure washing their driveway, and it was so noisy. So this is actually the bane of my life. However, anyway, I shall carry on. So my best advice to you about getting new clients is make sure you're out there advertising that you're still working. And the other thing as well is that I've updated my website and I've said some words to the effect of online specialist, because I am an online specialist. If I'm a specialist one-to-one with a client in a session, then I'm certainly using the same knowledge and the same training and the same everything with a client in online. I don't buy into the fallacy that therapy doesn't transfer online, and I certainly don't buy into the fallacy that it cheapens therapy, because I really don't think it does. I charge exactly the same amount for my online therapy as I do for face-to-face clients, and I have picked up about 5 new clients in the last 2.5 weeks. So people are obviously willing to pay for the service that I provide. And if you think about that, actually, people are willing, when, you know, before lockdown, people were willing to go and get the hair done and the nails done, and pay money in those sort of arenas, and they wouldn't dream of going to the hairdresser and the, you know, asking for a huge discount. Why would people not want to look after their mental health? Or why would they not want to pay to look after their mental health? So it's a bit of a fallacy, actually, that people will not pay for help, because they absolutely will. And of course, the back end of that is that you actually get the flip of that is that actually you get motivated clients who actually want to do the work with you. So all in all, my best advice to you is drop the self-limiting beliefs. Make sure that you're, you've done the work that you need in order to feel confident and happy to help people online. Get a fay with the technology. Yes, it is a bit weird at first. To be honest, it was a bit weird for me as well when I very first started using things like Zoom or Skype. I have to say, I think Zoom is more secure than Skype is. So I would definitely advise using Zoom over Skype, actually, especially for client work. But, and you do have to get used to the technicalities of it all. And you also have to get used to the fact that there is a screen between you and the client, absolutely. And you have to sort of override that part. And now I'm starting to find, after weeks and weeks of working online, that I can really begin to tune into the client and that transference between me and the client, even with that screen there. So it's just a case of actually getting used to it. So, don't put blocks in your way is my best advice to you. I think the reason that, myself and a few other colleagues have been particularly successful is because we believe we can still help clients during this time. So that's it really. I hope that you have safe and well, and you're having a fantastic time in all of this beautiful weather. And if you are in certain parts of the world that aren't getting beautiful weather, I hope it improves. But I really look forward to hearing some of your comments below. And if you've got individual suggestions for other things, please pop them below. Other hints and tips for other people. Remember also, we are all in this together for the greater good. It hurts my heart when I see other therapists slagging other therapists off and basically being mean or keeping everything to themselves. We're all here with a collective goal, and that's to help people, and that's what should happen. So let's all help one another in order to do that. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. This is literally my life. So I decide I'm going to do a online video or a recording, and this is what happens. You couldn't actually make it up. That is what happens every time.